Now in this video we are going to discuss a new topic in French history, that is the rise of republicanism and the Constitution of 1791, which is one of the famous incident in our world history. Now my first topic is Girondins and the Jacobins. First of all, if I say about Girondins and Jacobins, I must say first that the Jacobins were more cruel than the Girondins. Not only that, they killed the king of France, that is Louis XVI, with their famous leader who became the head of the national convention after that, that is Robespierre. According to them, development of country was possible only through individual independence, friendship among each other, trade, etc. Because these four terms, that is independence, freedom, mutual friendship, are mostly the fundamental points that is needed among people to make themselves free from the hands of suppression, oppression, and the aristocrats, the clergy. The two groups, they had their own ideology. For this, the main conflict was between them. Next, I will go. Now we are going to discuss the difference between Jacobins and Girondins. Now Jacobins, they wanted to replace the monarchy by republicanism, and Girondins, they believed in democracy. Spelling of the leaders of Jacobin are very important. Some Jacobins such as Brissot, Pétier, and Girondins leaders such as Chabot, Carnot. And the last point, that is Jacobins believed to gather the French people and to take over the rule of France by violent means. But Girondins, they believed in moderate ideals. শান্তিভাবে আমরা রুল করতে চাই বা ডেমোক্রেসি চাই, এটাই হচ্ছে জিরোন্ডিনসের আসল লক্ষ্য। From the Indian history we can compare this, that the Jacobins were the radical leaders and Girondins were the moderate leaders. Next is the direct causes of the conflict and result. So as the Jacobins and Girondins, the conflict was very becoming increasing, and due to this conflict there was a final result, that is the king's trial, or the king must be under the prison. Robespierre, the famous Jacobin leader, he said to save the nation the king must die. দেশকে বাঁচাতে গেলে রাজাকে মরে যেতে হবে বা মারতে হবে। তা লুই 16 কে কিল করা হলো 21 জানুয়ারি 1793। এটা হলো কি যে nations such as Russia, Austria, they attacked the France, and there was another conflict started which led to the Jacobins losing their popularity. National Convention, National Constituent Assembly. Now, as we just read in the previous slide about the tennis court and new constitution, which is also known as the Constitution of 1791. 1789 টেনিস কোর্ট হলো এবং তার ঠিক পরে 2 বছরের মধ্যে 4 people or 5 people such as Mirabeau, Barney, Lafayette and Talleyrand, 2 years of their hard work, that is 1789 to 1791, they were able to come up with a written constitution for the French people. তারা একটা কনস্টিটিউশন তারা তৈরি করতে পেরেছিল ভারত ফ্রান্সের নাগরিকদের জন্য, যেটা আমরা ফ্রেঞ্চ হিস্ট্রিতে জানি we came to know by the name that is the Constitution of 1791. 3 portions were there in the Constitution of 1791: administrative reform, economic reform and religious reform. One by one we will going to discuss some aspects of the Constitution of 1791. As per the administration is concerned, that this was generally based on English constitution, where executive, legislative and judiciary were separated. We know that French philosopher Montesquieu had severely criticized the king, for which he demanded the separation of power. In 1748, he demanded separation of power, that is judiciary, executive and legislative will be completely separated, in his book Spirit of Law. And after a huge span of time, this was actually accepted on 1791. And from now on, I am saying about 1791, at that time only the king was the head of constitution, but he cannot hold the divine right to rule. He was not the king of the France, but only the king of French. What does this mean? It means that he was only able to rule with the desire and aspiration of the people of France. There are many also points, that is such as the central rule was abolished. For administrative convenience, the country was divided into 83 provinces, and each was divided into 374 cantons, and each cantons were divided into 44,000 communes. Many are there also. And then the judicial reforms, judicial council, whose period was limited for 2 years, but they were able to consult with 745 members. Sorry, not consulted, they were able to constitute 745 members. The council members were elected representatives with the vote of people. Many are there, you can see from the slide also. Now I am going to the end of this slide, that is I am only left with 3 topics now, that is economic reform. I am just going through some of the reforms because lots of points are given, so try to listen and don't mug up those points. Try to write these points in your own language. First understand, then write. uh, Coming back to the point, economic reforms. Number one is to revitalize the French economy. The Constituent Assembly laid down certain rules. ফ্রেঞ্চ ইকোনমিটাকে ফিরিয়ে আনার জন্য আবারও কিছু রুলস বন্ধ করে দেওয়া হলো, কনস্টিটিউয়েন্ট অ্যাসেম্বলি বন্ধ করে দিল। সেকেন্ড ইজ দ্য ইকোনমিক ফ্রিডমস ওয়ার অ্যাকনলেজড। ফ্রিডম ইকোনমিক দিক থেকে সবাইকে গ্রান্ট করে দেওয়া। নেক্সট ইজ construction of industrial rights, then exert agricultural products for all other products. Monopolistic trade was abolished. কারণ একার জন্য ট্রেড করা এটা বন্ধ করে দেওয়া হলো, সবার জন্য ট্রেড করা হবে, সবার জন্য ট্রেড। Tax was imposed on wealth, land or otherwise as well as income. All indirect taxes যেগুলো ছিল ফ্রেঞ্চ রেভলিউশনের আগের পিরিয়ডে, যখন বুরবন রুলার্সরা রুল করেছিল, তখনকার যে ট্যাক্স, ইনডাইরেক্ট ট্যাক্স, এগুলো সমস্ত বন্ধ হয়ে গেল। এরকম আরো অনেক আছে, যেমন ওয়ার্কার্স ইউনিয়ন স্ট্রাইকস, they were also banned. Now at the end of this, that is the religious reforms, such as the Catholic churches was brought under the control of the state. The wealth of church was confiscated. Confiscated means নিয়ে নিল, and then church property nationalize করা দেওয়া হলো। Then constitution also granted religious freedom. Certain rules were promulgated by constituent assembly, and many are there. And last, we are going to discuss the shortcoming of the constitution. Actually this means the loopholes, or we can say the problems of the constitution. First of all, the concept of equality in French society was ignored. Monarchical rule আছে, কিন্তু ইকুয়ালিটিটাই যদি মানুষের মধ্যে না থাকে, তাহলে সেই কনস্টিটিউশনটা তাদের উপকার করতে পারলো না, এটা দাঁড়াচ্ছে। Concept of universal suffrage was ignored. Right of man and citizen failed bring equality in real sense. আর আরেকটা প্রবলেম যেটা ছিল এই কনস্টিটিউশনটা, যে এটা শুধু ইলেক্টেড পারসনসদেরকে পজিশনটা অকুপাই করতে দিয়েছিল, বেশি হেল্প করেছিল এই অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশনের দিকে। কমন পিপল কুড নট বি ইলেক্টেড। People's expected constitution to eliminate the levy and speculations. And last one is the people wanted the constitution to guarantee the security of man and be protected at all cost. Main thing আমাদের যে সুরক্ষা, সেটা আমরা চেয়েছিলাম যে হোক, কিন্তু it also failed. Thank you for watching this video.